Oh, snap. There's Elise. Hey, Elise.
Hi, Elise.
All right, ladies. So when we announced the team call, we were going to have Cozy share with us a little bit from NLC, but I'm just going to have her hop into our team pages and go live. She can share a little bit about it later when she is home from baby time. So instead, wanted to go over a little bit of housekeeping and then share something with you that we talked about this morning. Can you guys hear my kids' TV?
No.
Okay, it's really loud. So if it gets too loud, let me know. It's just Harry Potter, so I'll be in fine form if you guys can't hear it. Okay, so our main housekeeping item on the agenda is the retreat. We are moving forward. We have not popped any new diamonds, but we're having a retreat. And if it means Cozy and I are going to go hang out and eat bonbons together, then that's what's going to happen. But it would be a whole lot more fun if all y'all were there. So our initial deadline for the retreat is next week. Is anybody still working toward it? I want to hear from you guys. Who's hustling for diamonds? Elise. I know Debbie's working her heart out.
Like, I gotta get people that want to coach.
Me too. I've got people that are quitting on that too in 2 days. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
And
That's super hard.
On Dean's leg that I'm trying to get him to diamond.
It puts you into kind of a mental funk, right? To where you're like, they're quitting faster than I can sign them up. So, you know, it can be kind of hard.
Yeah. So I'm not giving up.
No.
I'm still.
Sue, what is your rank right now? Do you still have your diamond?
Yes.
Cool.
I do.
And do you have any builders?
Excuse me. I have one. And
Oh. Who is your builder? What's her name? She's super cute.
Ari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
she's
right.
trying so hard, and I wish she'd hop on. I don't know if she's got baby stuff going on, but
that's okay.
She really is trying. I wish I could, and maybe you can help. You guys can help me. She sends out a ton of invites. She's been doing that a lot lately, and she is just not getting anyone to just jump in.
Yeah.
It's like invites, and then they kind of go cold on her.
I think we've had a lot of you with the same problem. One thing that Cozy mentioned today that Diana has been doing that is working really well for them. I'll share it in case it's something that could help any of you or your coaches. Diana has been doing this specifically with business prospects. So when she has someone who is interested in the business, and they're just not sure, they're asking questions, that kind of thing, she'll set up a message thread on Facebook with her prospect and Cozy. And she'll say, hey, so-and-so, this is Cozy. She's my coach and my mentor. So she may be able to answer some of your questions a little differently or a little more clearly than I'm able to. Do you have any questions about the business that she could help you with? And they've only done it a couple times, but it's been really good results. I think it does. Cozy mentioned this is I'm parroting Cozy, okay? She said it's done a couple of things. First of all, that person is able to hear Cozy's confidence in the business, where, you know, that the more experience you have in this business, the more confidence you have, and that comes through in the way you talk to people. So she's able to get some of that confidence, but then it also allows Cozy to see a little bit of how Diana is interacting with her prospects, so that if she sees anything she might tweak or could make suggestions on, then she's able to. So it's twofold. It allows her to kind of help Diana answer questions and increase the confidence of her prospect, but then it also allows Cozy to kind of observe Diana, for lack of better term, so that she can give her any advice that she may come up with. So that's something to consider, Sue. If, you know, just put the offer out there for airing. If she's got people who seem interested, maybe she just sets up a quick message and says, this is my mentor, and she might be able to answer your questions a little better than me because she's been doing it longer. And maybe that's something that for a newer coach who's lacking in confidence, that might be kind of a safe place for them where they're afraid to push it. They're afraid to counter those objections. They're afraid to be too pushy. Maybe by turning it over to you a little bit, they can learn from you, listening to how you answer the questions, and then they don't lose someone in the process, if that makes sense. So that is something for all of you, for my girls who are on here, if that's ever something that you want to do with me, you're welcome to do that. I'm happy to help you talk to anyone who maybe just needs a little bit extra convincing. Really, we're not in the business of convincing, but sometimes people need to hear it from someone different, or they need to hear a different personality, you know? So if that's ever something you guys need, use it.
Sometimes I think it helps to have it come from someone who is making money. I know that sounds silly. Like, seriously, like crickets. Everyone is crickets, and I don't send messages with the bird on, but I'd like to.
The crickets is a whole different ball game. Crickets comes down to probably relationships. And it's really, really, really hard to know when you've built the relationship enough to send an invite. If you get crickets, don't write them off. Go build the relationship more. Go comment even more on their posts. Go love on them even more. And then come back to that. If you've invited them to something that has a deadline, follow up. Even if they gave you crickets, follow up one time. Like, hey girl, I don't know if you saw my message up above, but this group starts on Monday. I'd love to have you join us if it's something you're interested in. So I wanted to make sure you saw my message. And if you've been connecting in between your first invite and your follow-up, like deadline reminder, then maybe they're a little bit more likely to be like, oh yeah, I remember her. We've been chatting. So you just kind of have to start tweaking that and maybe do kind of a case-by-case analysis. And if they're giving you crickets, go to their page and say, how much have I interacted with this person? Really? Like, have I commented on 1 post or 20 posts? Have they responded to any of my comments? And kind of get an idea what's happening in your relationship building. Because when we do a power hour, we go and leave a comment and we count it. That's one of our 50. Oh, relationship built. But if they never see that or they never respond to that, it doesn't do a whole lot for us. You have to do a whole lot of comments if they're not going to engage back before there's any kind of a relationship. Does that make sense? So some people are just harder to build relationships with, too. Okay, so what? Who? Go.
Oh, I was just going to say I agree because, like, I feel like I've been having more luck now that I've been focusing more on Instagram. Like, there's a lot more people that are more closed-minded, more kind of standoffish on Facebook versus Instagram.
Totally. I agree totally. And if you're getting total crickets on Instagram, then send me your messages. Let me see them. Because you really, 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 really rare to get crickets on Instagram. Even just today, I followed up with a girl that I had forgotten to write down that I had invited her. So it's been a week or two, I don't know, a week since I invited her. And I finally followed up with her. She got back to me like that. And it was a no. It was not right now, thanks though. But on Facebook, that would be crickets. They're too scared to respond to you and tell you no. Like, they won't tell you anything. They'll just avoid you like the plague. People on Facebook are dumb. People on Instagram are like wide open. They're not afraid to say yes, and they're not afraid to say no. So what they tell you is what they mean, and then you can go on building the relationship or whatever from there. So if you're getting crickets on Instagram, send me your message, and let's look at it. And if you guys have not dived in to Instagram, please, please do. Please stop putting it off. I will tell you right now, when you do your power hour and you do those 50 connects, or you do those 15 expand your network, or you do your invites, do it on Instagram and make Facebook an afterthought. That is such a hard shift to make. If you start your business on Facebook and then you're transitioning to Instagram. I know I'm still making that shift and it's hard, but do it on Instagram and let Facebook be an afterthought. Because most of us are on Facebook anyway. Facebook's the one that we crack open when we're bored and we want to see what's going on. Facebook is the one that we want to, just scroll through mindlessly, and we might comment here and there. We're on Facebook all the time anyway. Instagram, you've got to be more intentional, and you've got to make that where your power hour focus is, because that's where you're going to see the return on your efforts. Sue, that's a really hard question to answer. How soon do you invite after you've messaged them? It really depends. It's a case by case. It depends on if they're responding. Do they respond back and we have a fun little chit chat back and forth? Or do I message them about this and I message them about that and I comment and I comment and I comment and I never get anything back from them? Those take longer. It really comes down to, as I'm scrolling through my list of people that I'm connecting with, if I see a name and I'm like, I feel like we're best friends. Like, this chick, I know everything about her. She's got these kids, and like just seeing her name, I feel familiar with her. I feel like I know exactly who she is. I know what she looks like. You know what I mean? For me, I want that familiarity. If I look at her name and I'm like, that's sort of familiar, let me look her up and be like, yeah, I kind of remember her. It's not time to invite her, in my opinion. Because if I don't remember exactly who she is, she doesn't know anything about me either, and there's no trust there. Unless they are engaging on one of my posts and I do a, hey, thanks for the like. Do you want to join me? What? It is Jaden's mom. Do you want to wave at her real quick? There you go. Okay, yeah, be quiet though. Okay. Anything else before I move on? So the retreat, for those of you who hopped on late, we're still pushing for the retreat. We are still gunning for it. We want you guys there. We're going to do everything in our power to help you. This next week, our focus is helping those of you who are hustling for it. Elise needs 4 coaches. Freaking A, dude. You got to be diamond next week. I know some of you are a little bit further off. It's okay. Just keep hustling. When we get to next week, we'll reevaluate. But as of this moment, our deadline is next week. And then you'll hold it for 6 weeks to qualify for the retreat. It's going to be amazing. I've got our photographer lined up. She's a babe. I'm so stoked. It's all fallen together, and it would be a lot more fun if it wasn't just me and Cozy. I like Cozy, but it would be a lot more fun if you guys were there. Okay? Okay. Moving on. Where is my book? Oh, there it is. So, do any of you guys have this book? Brendon Burchard's new book, High Performance Habits. Super good. Super good. I am only that far into it because I am like highlighting and underlining, and I actually am using my journal and doing the crap. Okay, it's really, really good. And okay, ouch. What he's saying applies very specifically to us as coaches. I know sometimes you read a business development book and you're like, this sounds more like it's for the corporate world. Like, this doesn't really apply to me as a mom sitting at home on my computer or my phone. This is not that way. This can apply to you in all areas of your life, but it can absolutely transform your business. So this morning, the part that I was reading was pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with you. And then I want you guys to think about this, and we're going to discuss it. He talks about figuring out what your PFI is. So this is your primary field of interest. So we live in a world, hold on, I need to shut the door. We live in a world where we're very generalized, right? We want to know a little bit about everything. We try to learn it all. We try to do Instagram and Facebook and Instagram stories and Facebook business page and maybe a blog and maybe Pinterest and maybe this and maybe that. Like, we think we need it all. So we learn a little bit about everything, and we never learn a whole lot about anything. So he talks about choosing or just determining your primary field of interest. Where are you going to focus your growth and your attention? So I've come up with 3 that I thought of that I had to decide, okay, which one comes first? All 3 are good options. All 3 are good things to focus on in this business, but how do I decide which one comes first? So we had this whole discussion, Cozy and Aaron and Jess and I. And I'm going to give you those 3 and I want your answers. So unmute, let's talk about this. So the 3 I came up with are marketing, leadership, and influence. Marketing, leadership, and influence. What do you think comes first in this business?
Influence.
Influence? Okay, talk that out. What do you think?
Well, we gotta definitely influence. I agree, because if we are not making an impression about how we are changing, how are we ever going to lead them? How are we ever going to market it? Better.
Good thought. Anyone else? Any other thoughts?
I agree with that. With the influence.
Okay. Does anyone think it's something else that would be a better focus to start with? Marketing, leadership, and influence.
Do you want me to go against everyone and just say leadership just to be different? Because I think influence too, but.
You think influence too, but you're just offering me something to talk about?
Yes.
I love you.
Would be a really good one too, though.
Okay.
It could really be any of them. I guess it's what you're best at for the first thing of getting your business out there.
Okay.
With.
So you think you would roll with the one that your
that I would feel is my biggest strength. Yes.
Your strength.
I think marketing, in all honesty, has probably been the easiest thing for me, because post my workout, just go
So you think that would be where you would want to focus your growth?
For me, yes.
Okay. I'm going to read something to you.
I feel like I'm back in school, dang it.
That's the idea. That is the idea. Where is it?
I don't know.
I'm not going to be able to find it, so I can't read it to you, which is fine. Oh. I'm not going to read it. It's like 2 pages. So, Brendan talks about his experiences, and he was in the corporate world, and then he left to be a writer and a coach in the personal development world. But he said, everyone's in the personal development world. I've got to find a way to stand out. So he could have put his focus where his strengths are, but he said his strength was personal development. It was research. It was psychological. He loves to read about how our brains work and how all of this stuff works in our heads. That's a good part that I can share. How to add value, how to where is it? Ugh. So he said he really likes that, the research of how the brain works and how our emotions lead us, and the kind of research that he shares in his books. He loved that, and so he was reading up on that stuff and learning about that all the time. So he said, I don't need to focus on that because I already do it. I already know it. I'm already loving it. It's already part of my life. So he put his focus in an area that he knew he needed to improve. Because like you said, Debbie, if marketing is your strong point, you already know how to market yourself at this point, you're already doing it. By putting your focus there, you're doing more of the same stuff and you're not expanding your skill set. But if you put your focus to somewhere where you're weak, that you know you need improvement, you're still marketing. You're still going to learn naturally how to market yourself because you're already interested in that. You're already doing it. But by expanding your skill set, then now you become strong in 2 areas. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
He does it a lot better than I do. So we agree with you guys. We decided the influence needed to come first because, like Debbie put it perfectly, if you don't have any influence with people, if they don't, follow your lead, then you really have no reason to be a leader, no opportunity to be a leader. And marketing, honestly, in this business, it doesn't come till later. Like, our marketing is relationships, and that's totally different from anything you will learn if you go research marketing. So that was what we decided to, is we decided influence was the way that the first thing that we needed to focus on as coaches. So the next step is to list 3 skills that make people successful in that skill set. Influence. What are 3 skills that make people influencers? This was harder for me. I'm like, I don't know. If I knew, I'd be an influencer.
I think one, like a big one for me, would be consistency.
Okay.
That, and I think just being real.
Okay. I like that. Anything else? What are some skills what are skills that make people successful as influencers? You can think about coaches that you follow religiously, or you can think about bloggers or other people who on social media you just like follow their every word. What are skills that make them that appealing to you?
Show improvements in different areas and
Awesome.
post about them to kind of
example, to show, like, lead by example, kind of.
yeah.
Cool. Any others?
I think they show they're vulnerable too.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So if that's being real, I guess that would tie into that, being real.
Yeah.
I think passion, that's another one. You gotta have
Passion. Yeah, that's good. So let me tell you what I came up with, and you can tell me if you agree. I think in order to be an influencer, you have to have compassion. You have to have compassion for others. You have to have confidence. And you have to be skilled in storytelling. That was what I came up with. I think storytelling kind of envelops everything you guys said. Passion and vulnerability and being real and showing your progress. I think that's all part of the storytelling skill set. Because we all know we might post our progress or we might post our passion for the business and it gets total crickets and everyone's like, dude, who cares? And then you see Jaylin post pretty similar crap and it's like, and it's because she knows how to tell a story. She's telling the same story. Her story is very similar to ours. Broke, overweight, relationship struggles, life sucks, coaching, life's better, money. Like, her story is very similar in what she's gotten out of the physical aspect of it and everything else. But she tells the story so well that her following is like, they're religiously focused on her every word. Have you guys noticed that? Are there any other people you follow on social media that you feel like their story could be fairly similar to a million other people, but their story is the one that gets the attention? Okay, so those are the ones that I came up with: compassion, confidence, and storytelling. So now we expand on those. Those are the 3 skills that we're going to develop in order to become an influencer. Okay? So we start with compassion. How do you learn compassion? To me, I think that's one that you can only learn by practicing it, right?
Yeah.
The more you practice compassion, the more you feel it. And for me, the more I know about another person's life and their story, the more compassion I feel. the more I feel like I've gotten to know them, like all of you, I know your stories, and I freaking love you to pieces. And when you're hurt, I'm hurt. And when you're happy, I'm happy. My challengers, I'm getting to know them so well. And when they have big success in their goals, I'm like bawling. I'm so happy for them. So when we get to a point where we can have that kind of compassion just for our followers, obviously we can't know everyone as well as we know our coaches and our challengers. But when we can start making friends like that all over, regardless of whether they buy something from us, and we just learn to acknowledge people and remember people, I think our compassion grows automatically. So I wrote down to learn their stories. I mean, when you're talking to people and building relationships, pay attention. Don't just ask the question to mark a box off on your business or relationship building box. Like, pay attention to who this person is and what story they're telling you. Know their name. How many of you can think of that one girl on Facebook and you talk all the time and you know where she's from, but what the crap is her name? I do that a lot. Now, this might be different for all of you. You guys might be rock with names and struggle with something else, but this is how I broke it down so you can see. So knowing their names, learning their stories, and then as an actual like measurable activity, I wrote down that I wanted to follow up with one person a week about something in their life. Not a follow-up on an invite, but like, oh yeah, she had surgery on Monday and I commented on her post, but I'm going to go check on her and see how she's doing. Or, oh, she had a baby 2 weeks ago. I wonder how she's feeling. Hey girl, how are you doing with that new baby? Follow up with one person a week about something going on in their life that's completely unrelated to what I do, just to care about them. Those are the 3 things I wrote down to help me expand in my compassion, okay? So confidence. How do we grow our confidence? For me, confidence is a little bit more tangible. We do it all the time. Personal development books, confidence builders. So I want to read at least 2 personal development books a month that are focused on me, not business development, not me, confidence, self-esteem, right? I want at least 2 books a month to help me feel like a badass, okay? So that was one thing, and that's very measurable. Daily affirmations. We say it, it's on our checklist. Are we really doing it? And if we're doing it, are we doing the same ones every day to where it's just like, yeah, okay, done, check. So daily affirmations. I want affirmations in my life for different parts of my life. I want morning affirmations to help me have a rockin' day. I want affirmations before I sit down to invite to help me build that confidence. I want affirmations before a workout to remind me that I am strong and I am capable. I want to start truly using affirmations in my life every single day. That's going to build confidence. And number 3, I am going to start being more consistent about setting small, focused goals. I set goals, but I don't set goals, right? We always have goals, like we need to hit 6 and I need this many coaches or whatever. I'm going to be more focused and actually write them down. I'm getting a whiteboard in my office. I'm going to have daily and weekly goals. And it's going to be goals I can hit. It's not going to be like 20 coaches this week. It's going to be goals that I know I can hit. It'll push me a little bit, but I'm going to hit it and I'm going to mark it off and say, done. You did that. Done. I did that. That's a confidence builder. It's awesome to hit Success Club, but if you don't have that specific goal, like glaring at you, then when you do it, you don't mark it off anywhere. It's just like, oh, I hit Success Club. Cool. That's awesome. I'm going to be very specific about my small step-by-step goals so that I'm marking off more successes just to boost my ego. That's legit what it is. It's an ego boost, okay? That's how I'm going to build confidence. Storytelling. I feel like this one, again, is very tangible. I feel like this is something we can truly learn. Okay, like it's not just an intangible feeling. This is a skill that we can learn. So I wrote down, I am going to practice with daily writing prompts. I like to write anyway, but even if I didn't, that's something I need to improve in if I'm going to tell a better story. I need to be a better writer. So I'm going to do daily writing prompts to help me with my creativity and to help me with just the flow of writing, okay? I'm going to go live more. Going live on Facebook and Instagram is part of a story, okay? Going live helps you to tell your story more realistically, more in person. It makes it real to people. All of those things we talked about, going live checks that. And I don't do it nearly enough. I have it on my list to do it once a week, and I don't do that most weeks. So I put it down to do twice a week to go live, either on Facebook or Instagram. And number 3, I want to research and find other great storytellers on social media, not just coaches, because I don't want to copycat. I want to find other great storytellers on social media, one new person a week that I can follow, that I can learn from, that I can look at a post that I say, that is a great story, that sucked me in, and I can kind of dissect it. What do I love about it? How did it start? How did it end? What drew me in and what kept me here to the end? So one person a week. I'm going to find one new storyteller on social media each week so that I can be learning from other people who've already mastered this. And that's it. Those are simple things that I can add into my daily tasks that aren't overwhelming and frankly exciting. I don't know about you guys, but I love to learn, and that is something I have let slide because I'm so focused on what I already know in this business, the things I need to do every day. I don't make time for learning, and I don't learn unless it's given to me in a training specific to Beachbody, because that's the only things I take time for. So this allows me to schedule time in my business to learn skill sets that are going to help me become a better influencer. Does that make sense? Any of that?
Absolutely.
So for you guys, we all kind of agreed on influencer. So what I would love to have you guys do, you don't have to use all my answers, okay? Spend some time and think about it, and if you come up with different answers, write them down. So 3 skills that make you a better influencer, and then 3 ways you can grow in those 3 skills. 3 by 3. 3 skills to be a better influencer, and then 3 specific things you can do each of those skills to develop them. And if you guys come up with different stuff, I want to hear it because I love this. This was awesome for me today. It was really good, and I'd love to hear if you guys come up with different stuff.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
No, this is good. I needed this.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. We will have Cozy catch us up hopefully later this week. Give us all of her goods from New Leader Conference. And just keep hustling, you guys. You're all doing amazing. Don't get downhearted. Don't worry about yesterday. Just worry about today. Take each day as it comes. What can you do better than yesterday? And your progress is going to come. And when you feel stuck, let us help you. Tell us where you think you're stuck. And we'll see what we can do. We'll find a way. We'll get you out of that slump and we will move forward. Cool?